I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to show you how I make my coconut chocolate chip cookies. They're incredibly easy to do, but I kind of came up with this recipe last minute a few weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago, and I made them quite a few times since everybody really enjoyed them, so I figured I love you guys and I wanted to share the recipe, so let's get to it. But before we do that, let's go over the ingredients. You'll need some unsalted butter and a little bit of vegetable shortening. Both have been softened to room temperature, all-purpose flour, salt, baking powder, baking soda, brown sugar, plain old regular granulated sugar, shredded coconut, semi-sweet chocolate chips, an egg, and vanilla extract. That is it, my friend. The ingredients are really simple. Now, basically, this is like my classic chocolate chip cookie recipe that I made here in Laura in the Kitchen, actually a few years ago. And that's like my go-to recipe for chocolate chip cookie because everybody loves it. And then a couple weeks ago, I was getting ready to leave for Florida. If you follow me on Facebook, you already know this. And I was making a batch for my coworkers, and I didn't have enough chocolate chips, but I had a little bit of coconut left over, so I figured combine the two, and they loved these so much. This will be my fourth time making them, so that tells you something. They're pretty darn good. Now, the first thing you want to do is get your oven preheated to 375. Get a couple of baking sheets with some parchment paper ready and handy, because these are going to go so fast. Within 20 minutes from here, till about 20 minutes from now, they'll be done. So I'm going to make these in my standing mixer just because it's easy. I'm feeling a little bit lazy today. I'm going to put in my butter and shortening. Now, if you don't have vegetable shortening, just substitute it with a little bit more butter. The equivalent of the shortening, you would use butter. I like the shortening. It gives you a little bit more of a delicate texture on the cookie. I always use it. People love it. If it ain't broke, why fix it? Do you know what I mean? So now to the butter and shortening, I'm going to add both kinds of sugar, and I'm going to cream this together pretty well until they're all really nice and combined. That looks good enough. As always, you want to take a spatula, just run it along the sides because you want that all to get mixed. All right, now we're going to add in one egg and some vanilla extract. Now, if you want this cookie to be like really coconutty, forget the vanilla extract, substitute just a little bit, like a quarter teaspoon of coconut extract. That will really bring out the flavor of the coconut. I tried, it's a little too strong for my liking. I like the subtle sort of warm, toasted coconutty that comes through in the chocolate. So I think it's a perfect balance this way. But hey, you know, you don't know unless you try it. So if you really like coconut quite a bit, like you really like that strong taste, do try it. Because I think that's, you know, it's the only way to know whether you like it or not. I'm just going to mix this together. And then in the meantime, I'm just going to take my dry ingredients, which is just my flour, salt, baking powder, and baking soda. Give this just a quick little mix. And now, because this is a cookie, not a muffin or a cake or anything like that, and I don't need to toss my flour with the chocolate chip cookies because it's just going to bake evenly. It's not like it's a cake batter where the chocolate chips are going to sink all the way to the bottom. So I'm eliminating that step. I'm just going to wait for this to get combined a little bit more, and we'll be ready to add in our dry mixture. That looks great. Let's add in our dry mixture. I'm just going to mix this just enough until they're all combined. It's good enough for me. All right, let's add in the coconut and the chocolate chips. Now I have a quick question. This is going to sound really awkward, but is it just me, or does coconut remind you of like summer and tropics and beach weather and all things fabulous? I don't know why. Anytime I eat anything with coconut in it, that's what I think of. I think right now I'm just craving spring and summer so badly that I'm finding any excuse to feel like it's right around the corner, even if I just have to bake with coconut. I love everything about spring and summer, and I want to know what you love about spring and summer most. For me, obviously, most of the time, the best part of any season is the cooking. You know what I'm saying? Fall time, pumpkin, cinnamon, all those warm spices. Summertime, fruits, vegetables, the grill. I love fighting up that grill and getting it ready for some good steaks and chicken and veggies. And so let me know what you're most looking forward to, because if it has anything to do with food, I want to make it. So, okay, enough chit-chatting. Getting this dough off of this hook. I want to get as much of it as possible off of there. You don't want to waste a thing. That's looking good. All right, now you know the trick. Handy dandy ice cream scoop. This is a 1 tablespoon measuring ice cream scoop. So if you don't have an ice cream scoop, just take 2 spoons, make little balls, put them on your baking sheet. Good to go. Same thing. This just makes my life a lot easier. Take little mounds of it, plop it right on. Allow a couple inches apart from each other because these will spread out as they bake. And then just keep on rolling. Let's do one more. Now this dough makes, more cookies that I'm gonna bake, obviously. But I have to tell you, if you've been following me here in Laura in the Kitchen, and you know, anytime I make cookies, I always have extra batter that I save. I plop it all in a Ziploc bag, stick it in the freezer, then I take the whole thing when I'm ready to bake them in the microwave for 30 seconds, thaws it perfectly, plop it on a baking sheet in the oven, homemade fresh cookies for any time someone stops by. And I tell you, if your friends love you now, wait until you see how much they love you when they show up unnoticed without unannounced, and you can get homemade cookies on the table in about 15 minutes. That's pretty impressive. All right, these are gonna go into your preheated oven at 375, about 9 to 11 minutes, or until the edges are lightly golden brown. Let them cool completely, but rotate the baking sheets halfway through for even baking. I'm gonna show you what they look like when they're done. My cookies were in the oven for 11 minutes, and I just rotated the cooking sheets with baking sheets halfway through, and they're exactly how they should be. I let these cool for a bit. Now, don't think that that little tiny bit of shortening made these super crunchy, because what these are perfectly chewy and delicious. It just somehow, that little tiny bit of shortening makes that cookie just a little bit lighter in texture. And the coconut is just subtle enough to make its presence, but it doesn't take over, which is what I love about it. I really do love coconut, like a lot. All right, I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I gotta wrap these babies up and take them to my coworkers tomorrow morning before I keep eating them and there'll be nothing left for them. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. Get this quick and easy recipe at laurainthekitchen.com like all my other recipes. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.